Um, One of the things that really struck me about this is how clean the copy is. I mean, from an editorial point of view, I'm so used to seeing even very well-written self-published books that are just filled with typos. Was that your effort? Or was it the publishers?
I think it was a collaboration on that thing. You have to understand that I tried for 5 or 6 years to go the traditional route of publishing. Mm-hmm. So I was continuously going through the manuscript, trying to improve it, trying to make it a little better than what it was. Mm-hmm. I had to make some last minute kind of editorial changes to it, character changes, because of some things that was going on where I didn't have permission to use certain characters. And so before it ever went to an editor with the publishing company, I'd been through it 3 times at least.
Oh, that's great.
And that's not to mention other times and other revisions. That's not to mention the writers group I'm in, going through finding things. And when it came back from the editor and I had the opportunity to accept or reject, which is another nice thing about self-publishing, I'm not forced to take their recommendations.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
And I probably accepted 95% of what the editor had recommended. But I also found things that she'd missed. And then when I got to Galleys and went through, I found things that both of us had missed.
Oh, that's so interesting. You have to read it in hard copy.
Right.
Otherwise you won't see it. And it's amazing how often that's true, even if you're in a situation where 12 or 15 different people are reading it, and everybody will miss it in soft copy or even in hard copy.
Right. And most of those first 3 times I did was all in hard copy. Mm-hmm. It was edited, track changes. That's what I used to reply to it, to accept or reject.
That's in Word.
Right. And then the Galleys and all that was on the computer as PDF. And that was kind of neat because the Galleys were in the format of the book rather than being, so your lines were a little different, the font was a little different, and I think it helped to see some of the mistakes. So I'm real thrilled with how clean it did come out. So.
Yeah, and it is such a thrill to see your Galleys for the first time, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
After, I know I say all the time that, your manuscript is not a published book, it should look different. And then after it's accepted by a publishing house, and you've gone through all the editorial back and forth, and it's gone through the copy editor, the author gets what are called galleys. I probably should have defined this earlier. Where you can actually see what it's going to look on the page, look like on the page. And the author is supposed to go through and proof them and make sure that all the changes that were necessary actually got in there, which doesn't always happen. And it is a lot of fun because you get to see for the first time it as a book.
Right.